You've spent all season nurturing your garden, dreaming of that perfect harvest. You've watered, you've weeded, you've poured your heart and soul into those rows of green, and then, you see it. A leaf crawling with aphids, a gorgeous tomato torn apart by a hornworm. It's that sinking feeling every gardener knows. But before you grab those pricey chemical pesticides, what if I told you the secret to a pest-free garden was to just plant more? What if you could build a living, breathing fortress that protects your vegetables without a single drop of spray? Stick around, because I'm about to show you 5 plants that pests absolutely despise. Look, that bottle of pesticide seems like a quick fix, but it comes at a cost, and not just money. Those chemicals don't know the difference between a bad bug and a good one. They can harm the beneficial insects, the bees and butterflies your garden needs to thrive. That stuff can linger in your soil and on your food, which is the last thing you want when you're growing produce for your family. There's a better way. An older way. It's a method that works with nature, not against it, called companion planting. It's all about using the natural superpowers of plants to create a garden that defends itself. It's about gardening smarter, not harsher. Today, we're going to build that smart garden together, starting with 5 plants you need to add this season to create a vibrant, productive, and pest-free vegetable patch. Coming in at number 5 is the cheerful, hard-working flower that many of us already know and love, the marigold. But this isn't just a pretty face. The marigold is a pest control powerhouse, a true soldier in the fight for your garden. There's a reason gardeners have been planting these for generations. So what bad guys do marigolds send packing? The list is long. We're talking aphids, those tiny sapsuckers that seem to multiply overnight. We're talking whiteflies, squash bugs, and even the dreaded tomato hornworm. But the marigold's most famous enemy is hiding underground. Marigolds are legendary for fighting root knot nematodes, microscopic worms in the soil that attack the roots of your plants, stunting their growth and ruining your harvest. How does this little flower pull off such a mighty feat? It's basically chemical warfare. The roots of French marigolds in particular release a substance that's toxic to nematodes. It stops their eggs from hatching and breaks their life cycle in your garden. Think of it as a silent underground defense system working 24/7 to protect the very foundation of your plants. For the best effect, plant marigolds for a full season in a bed you plan to use for vegetables the following year to really cleanse the soil. Above ground, the marigold's strong, pungent scent does all the work. Many pests find their next meal by smell, and the powerful aroma of marigolds acts like a smokescreen, confusing them and making it hard to find your prized tomatoes or beans. For best results, tuck marigolds all throughout your garden. Plant them between tomatoes, peppers, and squash. Create a border around your entire vegetable patch like a fragrant golden fence. Not only will they keep pests away, but they also attract beneficial insects like ladybugs, which are predators of the very bugs you're trying to get rid of. At number 4 is an herb that's as essential in the garden as it is in your kitchen, and that's basil. This isn't just for making pesto, it's one of the best friends your tomato plants will ever have. The magic is in its incredible aroma. Those fragrant oils we find so delightful are a total nightmare for a lot of common garden pests. Its scent is known to repel flies and mosquitoes, but where it really shines is protecting its favorite companion, and that is the tomato. It is famous for deterring the tomato hornworm. The strong smell of basil seems to confuse the moth that lays hornworm eggs, masking the scent of the tomato plant and encouraging it to go somewhere else. I can tell you from my own garden, the years I plant basil all around my tomatoes are the years I spend the least time hunting for those giant green caterpillars. Using basil is easy. For every tomato plant you put in the ground, plant 2 or 3 basil plants around its base, about a foot away. This creates a protective aromatic shield. Their root systems are even good companions. Basil has shallower roots that won't compete for water and nutrients with your deep-rooted tomato plants. And here's a bonus. Many gardeners swear that planting basil next to tomatoes actually improves their flavor. While the science on that is still up for debate, there's no denying the other benefit. When you let some of your basil plants flower, they become a magnet for bees and other pollinators, which is critical for a great harvest. Our number 3 plant is a bit of a double-edged sword, but if you manage it right, its pest-repelling power is unmatched. I'm talking about mint. From spearmint to peppermint, this entire family is packed with a fragrance that many pests simply can't stand. Mint is honestly a powerhouse deterrent against a whole army of crawling and flying insects. It's great at repelling aphids, cabbage moths, flea beetles, and spider mites. Its strong scent is also known to discourage ants and even mice. The smell is so overwhelming that it scrambles the senses of pests, making it tough for them to find the plants they want to eat. In fact, some commercial natural pesticides are based on peppermint oil. That's how effective it is. Alright, we're more than halfway through our list, and we've already covered some incredible natural protectors for your garden. If you're finding these tips helpful and you want to learn even more ways to create a thriving, chemical-free garden, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Now let's get to our top 2 heavy hitters. You won't want to miss these. Okay, now for the big warning. Mint is an incredibly aggressive grower. If you plant it directly in your garden bed, it will send out underground runners and take over everything. You'll have a mint jungle instead of a vegetable garden before you know it. So, how do you harness its power without unleashing chaos? Simple containers. Always plant mint in pots. You can then place these pots strategically around your garden, near vulnerable plants like broccoli, cabbage, and tomatoes. This gives you all the pest-repelling benefits while keeping its spread completely contained. You can even move the pots around like mobile pest control stations wherever you see a problem popping up. Coming in at a strong number 2 is another kitchen hero with a secret weapon, and that is rosemary. This beautiful woody herb is more than just a perfect match for roasted potatoes. Its distinct pine-like aroma is actually a formidable defense against some of the most annoying garden pests. Rosemary's strong scent is its main line of defense. It acts as a potent scent mask, confusing insects that are trying to zero in on your veggies. The resinous oils in its leaves are especially good at repelling the cabbage moth, making it a must-have companion for broccoli, cauliflower, and kale. Cabbage moths are surprisingly territorial, and the strong smell of rosemary can convince them to find a less confusing place to lay their eggs. In my garden, I make sure to have rosemary planted at the ends of my cabbage and broccoli rows. It forms an aromatic barrier that has drastically cut down on the number of green caterpillars I have to pick off by hand. And now, for our number 1 plant to grow instead of buying pesticides. Thyme. This low-growing humble herb might not look like much, but it's honestly one of the most powerful and versatile pest-repelling plants you can have. First, let's talk repulsion. The potent essential oils in thyme are a major turnoff for a wide range of pests. It's especially good against cabbage worms, tomato hornworm moths, whiteflies, and flea beetles. The strong fragrance throws these pests off their game, making it harder for them to find their favorite vegetables. This is why thyme is an amazing companion for cabbage and broccoli, as well as tomatoes. But thyme doesn't just repel the bad guys, it actively recruits an army of good guys. This is what truly makes it a superstar. Thyme's tiny flowers are an incredible nectar source for beneficial insects. It's especially good at attracting hoverflies, whose larvae are ferocious aphid predators. It also attracts predatory wasps that help control caterpillar populations. By planting thyme, you're not just putting up a defensive wall, you're rolling out the welcome mat for a free living pest control service. Because it's a low-growing plant, thyme makes a fantastic ground cover or border. You can plant it along the edges of your garden beds, where it will create a beautiful and fragrant barrier. You can also use cuttings as a scented mulch around your plants, just like with mint, to provide a temporary boost of pest-repelling aroma. Thyme is also incredibly hardy and drought-tolerant once it's established, making it a super low-maintenance addition to your garden. For its dual-action ability to both repel destructive pests and attract an army of beneficial predators, all while being a delicious and hardy herb, thyme easily earns its spot as our number 1. So now you have the list, and the power to build a healthier, more resilient garden is in your hands. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 of these plants and find a home for them in your garden this week, and I want to hear from you. What are your favorite natural pest control tricks? Drop a comment below and share your wisdom with everyone. Your experience could be the exact tip someone else needs. And if you found this helpful and want more tips on how to work nature to create a garden that thrives, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're all about growing smarter, not harder. So there you have it, 5 incredible plants that can help you turn your garden into a natural fortress. By weaving marigolds, basil, mint, rosemary, and thyme into your vegetable patch, you're doing so much more than just fighting bugs. You're creating a diverse, balanced ecosystem. You're protecting pollinators, improving your soil, and keeping chemicals off the food you eat. It's a simple shift in mindset. Instead of reacting to a problem with a spray bottle, you're proactively building a garden where problems are less likely to happen in the first place. You become the conductor of your garden's orchestra, bringing in all the right players to create a beautiful, productive harmony. It takes a little planning, but the reward is a garden that's not only healthier and safer, but more alive and resilient than ever before. Happy gardening.